Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're back with another engine project. This is an early 3 horsepower Fairbanks Z. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this tag with this lighting here, but actually it doesn't really look like it's got a serial number on it anyways. But yeah, real early Fairbanks Z 3 horse throttle governed engine. You can tell it's early because it's got an igniter and this style mixer on it. And this is going to be today's project. I picked this up in a lot recently, 4 engines and a pump jack setup, and the price was just more than right because I got the whole lot for the cost of like less than this thing probably. I don't really remember exactly what these go for, but just could not say no to it. Came from a guy actually really local to me, only 15 minutes away, which is rare because there's really not much of this stuff around here. But apparently his father was into them and his uncle was into them, and they used to collect them or store them. They had like 30 of them at one point. Then got into cars, sold most of them off, and kept the 4. And they've been sitting in the back of this guy's garage for the last 30 years. So figured this would be a cool little revival video. Surprisingly, on all 4 engines, and this one, you know, obviously included, everything is free. Everything moves. It's got compression and everything, so I bet that if I wanted to, could probably just put fuel in it and it would probably run, but since it's been sitting for 30 years, it probably needs a little bit of work. We're going to go through and free a bunch of stuff up. Lots of stuff is kind of gummy and whatnot. But yeah, figured I'd take you guys along for the ride. I got my buddy Alexander over here today who's going to give me a hand working on this, so probably just going to put the camera in time-lapse mode because him and I are going to be yapping while we work on this a bit. But go ahead and throw the camera up on the tripod here, and we're going to get this thing somewhat torn apart and go through it a bit, and then hopefully have it running by the end of the night. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and put you guys up on the tripod and we'll get to work. Pretty much just going to do the, you know, a little more than the bare minimum. We'll pop the bearing caps off, inspect that, probably pull the piston out the back of the cylinder, just make sure that looks all good. If I feel real ambitious, maybe we'll pull the head and lap the valves in, but I also don't entirely want to make a head gasket, so we might just try and get away with them as is. Normally I do that, but this one, since he's here, I kind of want to see it run tonight, at least halfway. And then, yeah, otherwise probably freeing stuff up. I have no idea what the gas tank looks like in this. It's probably pretty bad, but, you know, every once in a while you get lucky. But yeah, without any further ado, go ahead and throw you guys up on the tripod, and we're going to get this thing torn apart. So we started the teardown process here, and this thing looks really good. I guess this is the benefits of finding one that was stored inside for 30 years rather than sitting with the Titanic at the bottom of the Atlantic for 30 years like I usually get. Usual. Yeah. Pulled apart the mixer. It's got a little bit of water in it from when, oh, I guess I should mention, since I didn't get a video, you can see it's a lot cleaner now. We wiped this down with some WD-40 and degreaser stuff and then give it a quick pressure wash, just because it was so covered in mouse crap and piss. It was just nasty to touch. But that looks fairly clean. We got these cleaned up. The fuel pump rod here, you can hear the check valve or check ball is free, and that's moving good in there. So I think that will actually work. Went through, oiled everything up, and then while I was doing that, Alexander went ahead and pulled the piston out. That looks almost brand new. So, pretty happy with that. Same with the bearings, they look really good. We're gonna wipe it out, just make sure that the grease is, you know, cleaned out of it and put some fresh stuff, but there's like hardly any wear in that whatsoever. So that's pretty huge. And then speaking of huge, this is a massive piston for 3 horsepower, holy crap. That's gotta be, what, every bit of like 6 inch long, 7 inches long. We'll have to measure the diameter, but it's big, because that's my hand. But yeah, that looks good. None of the rings are stuck. A little bit of carbon on the top, which will probably clear off. I'm just gonna shoot some oil down in there, make sure the small end of the rod's clear. Repack this with some fresh grease, and then once again, you can see Babbitt's in pretty darn good shape. We got one little mark there, so it probably rubbed a little bit there at one point, but honestly, I think that's fine, and it was tight on the crank. It wasn't, you know, loose or anything, so I think we're just gonna kind of clean that up, oil it, and run it. I don't really want to get into making a head gasket today, or having to buy a head gasket for that matter. So I think we're going to just try and run it without doing a valve job for now, which I know is very unlike me, but just seeing how good a shape everything's in with this thing, I think we might just try and run it. And we'll see what happens. Worst case, you can pull it apart and do a valve job, but it's not the end of the world. But if we can hear it make noise before then, while he's still here, that would be kind of neat.
Agreed.
So, yeah, I think what we're going to do next is just clean that stuff up a little bit. I'm gonna pop these bearing caps off and just check and probably clean them out too. I'm gonna put that back together. I peeked in the fuel tank here. You're not gonna be able to see anything. It looks like a little bit of like pitting, so some water got in right through the cap, but otherwise, from what I can tell, in good shape. So we might try putting fuel in that. I'll take a peek from the underside and look. And I think the biggest problem with this engine is gonna be this mag. I know nothing about these, so I'm probably just gonna pop the back of it off and see if there's any form of points or anything in there or not. I kind of don't think there is, because it's low tension, but not 100% sure yet, so we'll find out. This screw is loose, so I don't know if that was them trying to put it back on or they were trying to take it off. But worst case, we'll run it with battery and coil. Not the end of the world, but it would be neat if that worked. So yeah. Bore looks good too. I don't know if I mentioned that before. It's a little dark, but it's real clean in there. So yeah, overall I think we got ourselves a winner so far, but we're going to continue on here, and I'll keep you guys posted. Well, while Alexander was cleaning up the Babbitt there, I took a look at this mag, in addition to cleaning some other stuff up, and wasn't getting anything out of it. I've never worked with a low tension mag before, so I didn't really know what to expect. But just holding it, it wouldn't jump an arc, which I kind of figured it might not, but again, didn't know. But it took the back cover off, and the little contact there was really dirty. So I cleaned that up pretty good. And then just for the hell of it, I connected it to this little spark test light thing I have. And to my surprise, if you turn this over, it lights the light up. So I guess the mag is working if it's enough to light up the spark tester light that's meant for high tension. So that's good news. I think we might actually have a functional mag, which is awesome. Because that means I don't have to run this with a battery and coil. It's just so much more convenient that way. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clean up this terminal on the igniter here. I am going to assume that the igniter is probably alright until... It's going to be innocent until proven guilty, essentially. Just because I don't really want to mess up the gasket there if I can avoid it. But this is all rusty, so definitely going to clean this up quick. And then I cleaned up all the parts to go to this mixer. I shot it out with some brake clean, so hopefully, again, this is good enough. Again, I'm taking some liberties here just because this thing was stored inside. Even though it's been sitting for a while, everything seems to be in really good shape. So, again, just going to try and get it to run for tonight, and I'll probably take some other stuff apart and do fine-tuning as need be. But, yeah, I'm going to keep chucking away with this, and hopefully we'll be able to get this back together and fire it off soon. Alright, so it's all back together here. All the bearings have been cleaned out, greased up, cleared out the whole fuel system and everything. I just put gas in the tank, so we're going to see if it primes up or not. I'm going to actually roll this over where I can use the little priming lever. It's neat. It's got this little lever on the front of the car here that you can use to prime the fuel pump if you want. I think for my purposes, I'm just going to spam it a little faster than that. We're going to see if this pump actually works. Worst case... Oh, wow, yeah, it's pumping. Ha! Would you look at that?
That was good.
That was fast.
Now I'm surprised.
I'm shocked. I didn't think
phenomenal.
the check balls would be that good.
No, I'm shocked.
That's pumping good, too.
That's fantastic.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, buddy. That is shocking.
That seems to be going to the overflow. I have no idea where this engine likes, so we're just going to open that. Where was I? Maybe a half turn to start. You want to do the honors, or should I?
It's your motor, buddy.
All right.
Go for it, my friend. You're getting exhaust.
Did you see something?
That's spitting out. spitting out stuff.
Like smoke or just
I
crap?
don't know if it's debris or smoke, but stuff is spitting out.
Huh. The intake is here where my 2 fingers are. You want to hold your fingers over that and choke it? Just hold back here. Oh. Just hold like 2 fingers over it. Alright.
That's just a bunch of shit that's coming out.
You're good there. I saw it that time.
Yeah,
I'm not hearing the intake valve moving so great though. Alright, so we just went ahead off camera and took this apart and blew everything out with the air compressor, so hopefully that helps. You want to choke it like I showed you before?
Yeah.
Anything? Alright.
It's getting gas out there, but nothing.
Oh, you got gas dripping out the bottom?
I don't know if it was mister, but there's gas in my hand, my fingers yet.
Oh, so we flooded it.
That'll do.
Let's make sure we're getting spark again. Cool. Yeah,
Nothing spark.
so I probably flooded it. Oops.
Oopsies. Choke or no choke?
Ah.
Let it go.
Really? I would have thought if there was gas leaking on the bottom, I would have known. Should have fuel now.
Yeah, coil spark.
Really?
Yeah. Arcing from middle to ground.
That's funny. Try it.
There we go.
Kick back.
That's something. I'm gonna choke it. Keep going.
Now. There it goes.
Oh, there's a lot of clean.
There we go.
Look at that. Let's go.
There it goes.
Oh,
Yes,
great.
let's go.
Let's go, dude.
I got so excited, or so distracted before trying to keep it going, I couldn't even get excited. Oh, hell yeah.
Let's go, dude.
That's running away. It's good. Good.
That was great.
That's gonna sound nice with a stack on it. Let's shoot flames. See if I can't slow it down with the go. Oh. That's freaking cool though.
That's running good, dude.
Alrighty guys, so it's the next day. Unfortunately, Alexander had to leave. He was only here for a short period. He's visiting from Colorado actually. But I went ahead and did a little bit more tinkering on this today. A couple notable things are I got an exhaust stack on it now, as you can tell. I think that's honestly going to get changed out. I'm going to try a slightly bigger diameter tube because it sounds really good when you get close to it, but from here it's like, doesn't sound bad, but I want a little bit more of that bassy thump, so we'll see. And then, honestly, more importantly than that, got this thing tuned in really nice. I am incredibly happy with how nice and smooth and slow this is running. So I'll show you what I did here in a minute, but yeah, overall this seems like a very happy engine. I am incredibly pleased with this. Of course, right as I say that, it's going to misfire a couple times, but for the most part it seems to just putt right along. See there, I got the governor cam and Magneto gears spinning around. It's camera makes it look like it's turning a lot faster than it is, and then you can look at the actual crank there and you can see how slow it's really going. Because in real life it's slow enough that you can actually see a slight blur from the spokes going by. It's not completely transparent like you can see there. But yeah, over here we got the igniter and the fuel pump going. Running off the mag. It starts off the mag just fine too, which is really nice. And yeah, original oiler is working great too. It's not leaking, dripping right along as it should. I'm very happy with that. It's a nice oiler. I'm used to my engines having really crappy oilers that you have to play with all the time, so it's nice to finally have a decent one. See the piston and crank and everything going back and forth. So I forget if I mentioned it before. It's a 4.5-inch bore and 6.5-inch stroke, which equates to like 104 cubic inches if memory serves. You can see I've been pumping plenty of fresh grease through those bearings, so they're pretty well lubricated. I actually loosened up the nuts on the connecting rod ever so slightly. They seemed a little bit tight. But yeah, I gotta say, this is one of the smoother and slower running Fairbanks Z's I've seen in a while. The igniter fired ones always seem to run better, but this is really nice. I'm very pleased with that. I don't really like how it's 8 cycling like that, but before it was running really smooth. It kind of waxes and wanes a little bit. I think it's because it's on the original governor still, and not just a hard set. Well, the governor kind of pulls it back and forth a little bit. Probably still a touch sticky, but this is quite literally as slow as it will go. As you can see, I tried turning that knob a little further, and if you do, it just pulls it to no fuel and it dies. There we go, that's better. Yeah, like I said, I put the stack on it, just playing around with what I had kicking around. It's alright, it's not the best. When you get close to it like this, it sounds nice, but might try a 3 or 4 inch pipe just to see if it will reverberate a little bit more. Of course, as I turn the camera on, it starts acting up a little bit. It was running perfectly smooth for like half an hour. Nope, other way. Anyways, see the governor weight spinning around there. You look a little further down, you can see the cam lobe. Kind of another indication as to how slow this is going. What I ended up figuring out, by the way, intake valve was a little bit stiff, so I cut a couple of loops out, and it seems to be able to suck a little bit more fuel and air in now. Oh, it's just loaded up. The valve moves a little bit more each time it sucks it in, and it seems to like that a lot better for running slow like this. Kind of neat how you can see all the gears whirring around, and actually if you look close at this one, you can see the grease cup spinning around. It's kind of funny, but also kind of neat. You'll just have to take my word for it though, it's running nice and smooth before, because of course now that I turn the camera on it won't do it, but oh well. Most of these Fairbankses like to run better under load anyways. There we go, that's better. But yeah, like I said, I am incredibly happy with that. That's a nice running engine. And it was a lot of fun working with Alexander to get it running again. I think I finally got him hooked on some hit and miss engine stuff. Or throttle governed in this case. I think eventually when he moves back over this way, he's probably going to end up picking one up. So that's a win. But yeah. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for me for this video. I'll probably do a follow-up video with the different exhaust stack and everything after this thing's got a couple more hours on it and whatnot. But I think we've covered just about everything for this video. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you like what you see, hit the little like and subscribe buttons. I'd appreciate that. By all means, leave a comment if you have one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.